Paul a sociopath or not? This question seems to be on everyone's mind right now, and I'm a person with opinions, so I thought might as well share my thoughts on whether Jake Paul is a sociopath or not. So the first thing I'm going to do is to find out what a sociopath actually is, and also see if I'm one, because I want to see what type of questions determine whether you're a sociopath or not, and I only have myself to ask. So let's find out if I'm a sociopath, and let's find out what it is. So sociopath is a term used to describe a person with an antisocial personality disorder. People with this disorder has problems understanding other people's feelings, and they will often break rules and make impulsive decisions without feeling guilty for the harm they may cause. They may also use mind games to control friends, co-workers, family, and even strangers, and they are usually perceived as charming or charismatic. So some common traits for sociopaths is to not respect social norms and laws.
I want to do the interview here.
Yeah, you can't do the interview up there.
Lie and deceive others, not make any long-term plans, show aggressive or aggravated behavior, don't consider their own safety, not following up with personal or professional responsibilities, and not feeling guilt or remorse. They also use humor, intelligence, and charisma, manipulate others, and can be perceived as cold because of the lack of empathy or emotion. They don't really learn from their own mistakes. They have troubles having positive relationships with people. They take risks at the expense of themselves or others, and they easily get addicted to alcohol, drugs, or other substances. And according to this source, there is no significant difference between sociopaths and psychopaths. So if I am confused about that in this video, that's why. There doesn't seem to be any reliable sources that actually talk about the differences.
The words sound very similar, but mean very different things.
So I understand that people have a hard time understanding what a sociopath is, what a psychopath is, because sources have really different definitions of these terms. So now I'm gonna do a test and see if I'm a psychopath or sociopath, where I'm on that spectrum. This is really interesting to me. Okay, so I'm a 21-year-old female. Most would describe me as charming and nonchalant. I can turn on my charm off and on like a faucet. Kinda. I do what I want when I want. The moment the impulse strikes me, yeah. If something goes wrong or turns out badly, it's not my fault. Depends on the situation, but like, I've gotten into legal or criminal trouble as an adult. No. I'm easily the best at what I do. Bar none, nobody could ever take my place. Yeah, like, but I don't think anyone could ever take anyone's place. I do whatever I feel like doing, and I don't care what others think, or even if it's illegal. And every person for themselves. I don't see the point in feeling sorry for other people and have no desire to help others. No. I've gotten into legal or criminal trouble when I was a teenager. Yeah. I have no problem or concern in lying in order to get what I want. I hate lying. Live in the moment is what I say. The future will take care of itself, and learning from your past is pointless. No, I learn from my mistakes. I never feel remorse, shame, or guilt about something I've said or done. I feel guilt and shame all the time, so yeah, no. I don't see the point in taking on any responsibilities of any kind. They just weigh you down. No. Okay, score my psychopath quiz. This will be fun. Oh my god, did I just crack my neck? Okay, you scored a total of 8. No psychopathy. You answered this quiz consistent with people who would not generally be considered a psychopath by research methods currently used to quickly screen for psychopathy in the population. Congratulations for not being a psychopath today. Okay, thank you. So the YouTuber Shane Dawson recently released a series about Jake Paul and whether he's a sociopath or not.
My mom, my dad.
And Jake's brother Logan Paul made a video where he talked about this, and in that video he talked about the sociopathic spectrum.
There's a sociopathic spectrum, at which point some people lie higher on it than others.
And I think it's really good that he actually did, because I have not seen many people talk about this, But in any kind of mental disorder or any disorder at all, there's always a spectrum. There is mild, moderate, severe, and everything in between. It's not like you're either the most caring person or you have no feelings at all. There is like an in-between. And most people don't talk about this. Most people perceive our world and the things in it, including disorders, black and white. But that's not the case. There are a ton of gray areas, especially when it comes to mental health, because a disorder is not necessarily the same way for different people. We all have different experiences and we're individuals. We perceive things differently. And one person with sociopathic tendencies may, for example, commit crime, while another person may never even consider committing crimes. So I think it's really important for people to actually understand the spectrum and the fact that a person with sociopathic tendencies can actually have feelings and feel love and feel remorse and all that, but they may not feel it as strongly as me, for example.
It's not black and white. 99% of the time, someone is not a sociopath or not a sociopath.
Sometimes I am so overwhelmed by my feelings that I wish I could turn it off. But for some other people, they may not feel feelings as strongly as me. Some people don't feel feelings at all. And that's just like different people. It doesn't mean that one person might be more criminal than another person or more violent. People like me or me might actually be more aggressive or violent than a psychopath or a sociopath may. And I will explain this because I took psychology in high school and I love psychology. I'm really interested in it and I'm just so fascinated by the human brain. So I was doing research for this video and I tried to find statistics telling you what kind of personality types are more likely to be criminal, because I just wanted to see if the myth that sociopaths and psychopaths are so criminal and so dangerous is actually true. And so I found an interesting article about zodiac signs and how they do in criminality overall. So I was going through this list with all these zodiac signs, and zodiac signs to me is a very good indicator of a type of personality a person has, because usually they're quite right. And I'm not talking about horoscopes, I'm not talking about the stars knowing what type of day you're gonna have. I'm talking about the personality aspect of people and their zodiac signs. It's usually pretty legit, and my zodiac sign suits me perfectly. Cancer, my zodiac sign, is a water sign, and water signs are known for being the most emotional of the zodiac signs. So anyways, I was scrolling through this list and this article, and all the ones that I thought was gonna be at the top just passed in the article, and I was like, okay, so which one is gonna be at the top? And I kept scrolling. This article was so long, but I just kept scrolling, and the one at the top, like the most criminal zodiac sign, is Cancer, my zodiac sign. So I was completely shook, and this got me thinking, because I can see that, like, yeah, I can understand why my zodiac sign would be the most criminal, because emotions can make you act out in a way that you wouldn't do if you didn't feel emotions. So if you don't feel emotions, you wouldn't get angry, and anger is something that makes many people act out violently. So if you don't feel anger, maybe you wouldn't commit as many like violent crimes as you would with emotions. It's really interesting to me to think about it and to actually imagine what it would be like without no feelings. Because if you didn't have feelings, like how, first of all, how would you even know? Because if you're born without any feelings, how would you know what feelings are? It is so mind-blowing. I can't even imagine. And also, because my zodiac sign is the most like emotional, and Cancers commit the most crimes, maybe that's because if you don't have these strong emotions, maybe you don't see the point in, you know, hitting a guy in the face. My first reaction was to punch this woman, because that would stop you from reaching your goal. you know, getting incarcerated would stop you from reaching your goal. If nothing else in the world mattered except your goal, why would you let anything get in the way? That makes me think that all of us emotional beings are the more like non-logical people, because that makes sense. Why would you risk getting thrown in jail when you just could not? When you could just not do that, when you could just not hit the guy in the face. It just makes so much sense to me, even if I don't really understand it. Something I didn't like about this series was the examples that the therapist did about sociopathic behaviors. And don't get me wrong, I love Shane Dawson, I love his work, I love this series, but he purposely made it seem more scary because, you know, people want to watch that kind of stuff. And I don't really think that was fair, because the things that they said, most people do those things. For example, they said that a sociopath would drive carelessly and drive fast, that they would get tattoos, they would be popular and have many friends, mimic behavior and have great social skills. But so many people do these kind of things that if, for example, a younger audience were to watch this video and think that these things mean that you're a sociopath and that you should stay away from sociopaths, these videos could potentially lead to kids excluding their friends, and that is not a good thing. So I think before this series ends, they need to give a better definition of what a sociopath is and tell people that is not dangerous. Okay, so most people, at least that I know, have a darker and a lighter personality. You don't act the same way around your grandma as you do with your friends. You don't act the same way when you're angry as when you're happy. Like, it's really not more complicated than that, and most people are like that. Most people are not neutral. So if a person is acting on anger in one video and then acting on, let's say, love in another video, that does not mean that they were being fake in any of the videos. And I've seen this so much, people saying that YouTubers are fake because they act differently in different videos or differently around different people. But come on, we all do, like most people at least. I know I do. Like, I can do completely crazy things with my friends, but I would never do that with my grandma. Like, of course not. And I would never do that on a job or in school. Like, why would that be weird? It's like people don't even see their own actions anymore. They just see other people do. They just judge what other people do. And I'm just like sick of it, because these things lead to bad stereotypes, and these things lead to bullying, and these things lead to generalizing people. And we should just not do that, because people are individuals. We are all unique, amazing beings, and we should not generalize like that. Like, that is how racists think. That is how Nazis think. They generalize a group of people and call them a name, and then that's that. They don't realize that every single person is a human being and have their own experiences, their own personalities, their own mentalities. That is dangerous. Sociopaths and psychopaths are not usually dangerous. Like, just look up the facts. They're not dangerous. It's like saying that people with bipolar disorder or anorexia or depression are dangerous. People have finally started to open up about their mental disorders and their mental problems, and that is a good thing. Talking about mental disorders should not be taboo. It should be something normal. Like, most people I know have some kind of mental disability or disorder. I have mental disorders. My mom has mental disorders. My best friend does. We are all different, and thinking that all sociopaths are like criminals because one sociopath committed a crime is like thinking all black people are criminals because one black person committed a crime. Okay, so think about this. If a anorexic person committed a crime, let's say she murdered someone, okay? Would you freak out and think that all anorexic people are murderers? Like, It is just so stupid. These generalizations are so stupid and harmful and dangerous for society, for everyone, and I just hate it. My conclusion of all of this is that Jake Paul has moderate sociopathic tendencies, and I think Logan has the same. I don't think that they don't feel feelings, but I do think they might feel some feelings less than, for example, I do. They are constantly putting themselves at risk. At least they were in their older videos. I don't think that Jake does as much anymore, but they both did. They both, like, one of Jake's first videos was him hanging on a cliff just like inches from death. Like, that is dangerous. And he has done so many other things that are also dangerous, but some people like that kind of stuff. Some people like the adrenaline rush. It's fascinating to me because I'm not a risk taker. I'm terrified of most things, and I can't imagine not being.
How realistic is it for me to know one?
They say 1 in 25.
I thought it was like 1 in 10,000 or something.
1 in 25 people are not dangerous criminals that will kill you in your sleep. Sociopaths and psychopaths are not necessarily dangerous. Don't go fearing other people. We shouldn't generalize like that. Humans are dangerous. Humans kill other humans, but it's way more likely that an emotional person would harm you or commit other crimes. So please don't fear people because of their mental disorders, because that just makes them less likely to talk about them and to admit them, and that's not healthy for anyone. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I really tried to be as unbiased as I possibly could in this video. I don't personally have anything against any of the people mentioned. I watch all of these people on a regular basis, and yeah, I don't think any of them are dangerous or potentially criminals. So that is that. Love you guys. Bye.